Hey everyone, you're listening to 4Player Podcast, a weekly live show about video games. We hope you'll stick around for another year of gaming discussion, fantasy critic hijinks, and of course, general shenanigans here at 4Player. Before we start this episode, we want to send a thank you out to everyone who listens and give a quick welcome to any newbies. I'll try to keep this short because this is, and always will be, an ad-free show. We've been at this since 2008, so if you like what we do, please subscribe and leave a review on your preferred podcast service. Join us in our Discord at discord.gg/4player, or, if you're so inclined, throw us a couple bucks a month on Patreon. We record these episodes live every Tuesday night on twitch.tv/4playerpodcast, all spelled out, and episodes hit podcast services on Friday morning. You can find all the links you need at 4playernetwork.com. But enough about that, let's get started. Oh man, what a basic bitch. Alright, hey guys, welcome to 4Player Podcast, episode 846. It is August 26th, 2025. I'm your host, Nick Henderson, joined tonight by Brad Simons.
Hello.
Christopher Guthridge.
What's up, Nick?
Not much. And Christopher Davis. Are you muted, Chris Davis? Are you fucking muted? Are you really doing... Okay.
He's not saying
I
anything.
just poured myself a delightful drink, you know,
From his
my
thermos.
From
brand
his
new
stupid...
Oh Dear Diner air rim.
This motherfucker. You got
It's
that
actually, it's quite good.
Alan Wake 2 thing.
Yeah, I was like, I don't
Yeah.
even know what the fuck that is, but good for you.
What'd
I
you put in
guess.
there? Apple juice?
Yeah.
Tea.
I actually prefer Crispy's version. Let's just pretend he's sipping apple juice out of this.
It'd be milk probably for him.
That's funny. All right, hey guys,
Milk.
welcome to the show. Big week for video games. Let's just get right out there. Let's broach the topic of the week right out of the gate, guys. Fucking
Adults who drink milk. What's up with that?
I drink milk.
I drink milk.
I know. Why?
Yeah, that's
I know. My wife
That's
has to
What are
say
you,
this
a
way.
crazy.
baby cow?
yeah. It's wild, but whatever. We don't have to linger on that. Can I say that like our actual podcast introduction sounds like a sound test? Like the energy
Well,
in
that's
our
because-
introduction is the same as the energy in our sound test. You need to listen to like a modern Giant Bomb intro. Listen
what
to
a
the way
bitch.
Jan introduces Mike Minotti. This is the kind of energy I want from you, Nick. Because I'll get hype if you're hype.
Okay, so
Yeah, Nick,
you've
give
waited
us energy.
846 episodes into this
No,
podcast
no,
since
no.
Still
2008
figuring it out.
to tell me that I don't have enough energy for the podcast at the beginning.
Well,
to
you once
appropriately...
accused me of not having enough energy, but
Well,
but you-
sometimes you
you-
have more energy during the sound test than you do in the actual
That's true
intro
also.
proper. So.
you have to like you gotta set me up. You gotta introduce me,
There.
you know, like in a way that gets me hyped. My name doesn't get me hyped, actually.
Brad Simons, the
No,
second place
yeah.
fantasy critic
Okay.
dude.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know.
But that's
don't know.
fine. Even that gets me hot. Gets me hot. You know, gets
Oh,
me
I don't-
want to.
I don't
I
think I
like
wanna do
that
that.
sentiment. No.
Yeah, I don't really want to get you hot.
We should
if
get
they say-
Derek
as you
on the
say.
podcast.
We
Dude,
should
I-
get Derek on the podcast.
Here's the thing about Derek.
Get this Brad guy out of
the
here.
Michael Jordan of fantasy critic. He's a lurker. I can tell. I like have to really like at that motherfucker to get him to chime in the Discord. He's there, but he's not one of these chatty Cathys like the rest of us, which is funny because he's the Michael Jordan of fantasy critic, and I just want him to like explain how he does it. You know,
He's just
I
like
want
a
to know
silent
how-
master sitting on top of the mountain by himself.
it's exactly
like-
that, man. It's
Derek is an
exactly that.
I mean,
algorithm.
Derek, this is Derek's full-time job. Is winning at
Do you-
fantasy
well,
critic, so.
he definitely is full on sicko mode. Like if a game is not on his roster and it's on yours, you should be fucking afraid because he will go into the Open Critic Discord, into the channel for missing reviews and submit bad scores for games on other people's rosters.
See, that sounds like he should. That makes him sound like he should be banned from playing
That's
fantasy
the
critic
difference,
completely.
man. This is
Nice
how
guy.
Kobe was so good. You
No.
can't just
He's not the Michael Jordan of fantasy critic. He's the fucking Tanya Harding of fantasy critic.
No,
That's
no,
what's-
no. That's the game, dude. That's the difference. But he's currently ahead by like 50 points. So it's not just that. Like honestly, you know,
That's
these are
some-
scores that are supposed to be on the site. So If Open Critics not their little scrapers not catching them, it's kind of not their fault. But I'm saying he goes the extra mile to secure those wins, and all of us in sicko mode kind of do that a little bit.
You heard
but
it here first. Brad just openly admitted that he's in sicko mode.
All I'll
sicko
say,
mode.
all I'll say
Always
is a lot of the games
shut
on
up
my
about
list
it.
are on his list, which gives me like comfort because I know he'll find all the good scores and I don't have to waste all my time doing that for reviews the good reviews that didn't get posted on Open Critic, because he'll do it as well. It's when my games are not on his list that I'm terrified.
Brad,
yeah.
true or false? Did we do our 4-player draft after Derek did his first draft of this year?
Okay, first of all, I didn't even know about Derek until because I never paid attention to Royale until like May or something, right? But all of Fantasy Critic does their drafts after we do ours. We kind of do ours right away. Like I was drafting in Super League like a week.
We're gonna have to be police.
We drafted here.
We're gonna have to police Brad to make sure he's not.
Also, this is Royale. You don't see their picks until the game comes out.
Oh, there we go.
Crispy,
Okay.
you just don't. Chris Davis, you just don't know how this works.
Evidently
Like
not.
their entire list is
hidden.
Isn't viewable until the game releases.
Which
That's a
maybe we should
long
try that next year.
roundabout way to go about saying no.
Okay, guys.
Well, I'm
guys.
saying like very. No.
This sounds like a no with an asterisk. I'm just saying.
Okay, let's rein it back in.
With an exclamation point.
We're reining it back in because
Yeah,
I
what
still
you got?
had not a chance. I wanted to start the show off with the big news, the big video game news of the week. We didn't get this. This literally was announced after we recorded last week, so we have to talk about it. Hollow Knight Silksong.
Sorry, Nick. Someone says
What?
Prince
I
says
hate you.
in chat says Nick drinks milk because water is too spicy for him, which
Flip snap.
is silly.
I'm
but
drinking water right now.
But it does. I do imagine a scenario where like Nick is eating pepperoni pizza and he's like, "Whoo, these pepperonis are too spicy," and he's drinking milk on the side.
You literally don't know anything about me because like
Spicy.
I love
pepperoni.
spicy food. Like I seek out spicy food.
Okay. I mean, I'm just.
And he's always got a quart of milk.
It's
with
just
him when
a
he
joke.
does.
I mean, but I do associate like a milk drinker with someone who doesn't like spicy food.
Well,
although it makes
dude,
sense.
I could tell you the origin story of why I like drinking milk, but I don't want to bore people with that.
Is it an
So-
origin story?
Yeah. Why is it? Why is there a story? Isn't it just like you were a
Don't
baby and that's all?
don't
you
make-
It's
had
his.
for a
It's his.
while and
It's
you
his
just never
baby.
stopped?
Baby. Fetish.
No, it has to do with
It comes
I
from
had-
his. He likes
it
to
has
wear
to-
diapers and drink.
no.
Were you
It
breastfed or formula, Nick?
shut the
Ooh,
fuck
there
up.
you go.
No, it has everything to do with my breakfast morning routine all the way through like middle school and high school. Every single day of my life involved eating 2 Eggo waffles and then chasing it with by chugging a glass of milk.
Whoa.
Like I would not drink the milk while I'm eating the waffles doused in syrup. I would eat all of it and then I would chug the milk, and that was
We're all
my ritual.
neurodivergent.
How
in
do
our
you
own
take
ways.
coffee?
Yeah.
How do you take
Black.
coffee? Really? You're
Yep.
not like an espresso like milk coffee guy?
Nope, black coffee.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But
That's
Nick also started
weird.
drinking coffee late in life, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, not until I was 30, I think, is when I started
oh
drinking
my
coffee.
god.
Yeah, but there's a certain
Now, I started-
machismo
Before
like
that?
surrounding the drinking
When
of
I
black
s-
coffee.
When I started drinking coffee, I drank it with lots of like creamer and stuff.
Boys
mean,
are not allowed to
I-
like sweet things.
No,
you know?
hang on.
I like lattes.
I
like
drink black
lattes.
coffee too, but I drink black coffee mostly because I don't like milk.
Yeah.
I mean, I will
Yeah, I
have
mean,
like a
I'm
latte
with
every
you.
once in a while, but
I'm
like,
lactose intolerant, so that's why I drink
Yeah.
black coffee.
like I don't get why you're like, I love milk, but not in this other drink that it makes sense to have milk in. I
also
just drink
don't
it
dr-
straight.
I
Like,
also don't drink milk as often as Brad would like you to believe I drink milk.
What? I mean,
I
you're the one
don't.
who brought it
You
up.
make it sound like I drink milk every day. I don't. I drink milk.
well,
like,
I
once
said
a week.
adult milk drinkers, and you were like, "That's me." Like,
I mean, I like a nice glass of milk. Sometimes I'll eat dinner, and Robin's having like a beer or a cocktail or something, and I'm sitting there drinking a glass of milk.
Robin's
don't
so
think I've
much cooler
ever-
than you.
drank
That's
milk
true.
with a meal.
That is
I've
true.
never. I don't think I've ever drank milk with a meal. But in Dick Tracy, when they're in the diner and the kid
Yeah,
is like eating like food and drinking milk, that's
Yeah.
like the most I ever wanted to drink milk with a meal.
Yeah.
If
That's
you know,
very
you know.
comic booky.
See, I can't
Yeah.
eat like waffles or pancakes without milk.
Yeah,
Can't
I
do
mean, you have a deep association between the two,
Yeah.
maybe slightly neurodivergent,
you-
but you know, that's cool. That's cool.
One more quick aside. I think it'll be worth it. Have any of you ever seen the old Dick Tracy cartoon?
I feel like I
yeah,
have.
I think so. Yeah.
Because like every episode of the Dick Tracy cartoon would have a segment where he like calls another detective in a different part of the world, and they do like a little short about that guy going on an adventure, and every single one of those characters is a like racist caricature.
Oh,
Like-
of course.
God. Maybe I haven't seen the
You
cartoon.
guys remember this?
Wow.
It's crazy. He had friends all over the world, and every single one of them was like the most hateful, like racist stereotype of.
Wow.
I don't know
it
why.
was just like
I don't
just
know
went
why I
right
brought
over
that
our
up.
heads as kids.
But you were
Is that
talking
what
about Dick Tracy. No, I mean this was like Hanna-Barbera age stuff. This was like
That's pretty dicey
the
era.
70s or 60s
Yeah.
or something when they were making these. Yeah, it's fucking.
Speaking of racist, what have you been playing, Nick? No, I'm just gotcha.
Wait,
gotcha.
we have still dodged the subject at hand here. I keep trying to bring
Yeah,
it
what
up.
are we talking about? What are we doing?
Hollow Knight Silksong has a
yeah,
release
yeah.
date, guys. It's coming out next week.
That's crazy, actually. That's
Remains
actually
to
be
crazy.
seen.
I'm nervous about this. I've been like, I'm trying to like wrap up games and stuff now. I can't.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Although
I
I'm-
finished Death Stranding.
I am
Yeah,
I'm
honestly.
I'm 15 hours into Death Stranding 2 and I'm like, I've made a terrible mistake.
Nick, I just finished. You know what my final playtime
Oh
was?
no,
I'm almost
no.
scared to ask.
That's
Do you wanna
always
know?
bad. It's bad.
Is it over
Every
I mean,
time
I was really making sure I got my money's worth, but yeah, 120 hours.
Oh my god.
Okay, I mean,
I'm not playing that
that's-
game.
That puts it squarely in like Red Dead Redemption 2 territory for me in terms of like playtime. So like
Yeah,
can
he
do-
I
will
don't know.
not
I
spend-
honestly,
he can do it
I
unless it's Baldur's Gate.
I would say adjusted if I'm really thinking about it. Adjusted, let's say 100 hours. Like there's maybe 20 hours of just I left them. No, I don't know. That's a lot.
I mean, I
Yeah,
could have been
120
playing.
hours is probably right, but that
I-
was a lot of me like building roads and leveling up shelters
Which is like that's my
getting-
neurodivergent shit. I will go out of my way. Like last night, I was
Oh,
playing
yeah.
Death Stranding 2, and I was like,
Yeah.
I need to go to bed. But I was like, what if I just went and built this one more stretch of road?
Oh,
But it was like
yeah.
across the map,
Oh, yeah.
and I was
you're
like,
it only needs 400 resin. I think there's some resin over here at the distribution center. I'll just drive over there, pick it up, take it to the builder, build a new section of road, and then see where we're at. And you do that, and like
Suddenly
I
the
would get
sun's out.
stuck in that loop for like 6 hours. Like
yes.
Yeah.
It's
Crazy.
it's my weakness, but I'm very excited. I mean, actually, I'm really enjoying the game. I could have been playing Death Stranding 2 for quite some time, but I decided to put a lot of my efforts into finishing Donkey Kong Bonanza. I have finished Donkey Kong Bonanza, and I
We
think
did
a lot
talk
of it
about
has
that
to.
last week, right? We did
Uh,
mention last
You
week.
talked
I
about
hadn't
how
finished it
much
at that time.
disappointed
Oh.
you were.
Yeah, you were did a little disappointed.
I
But
mean, I was
honestly, I feel like that's a fairly not common sentiment, but everyone sort of agrees that like they did some really cool shit with this game.
It is cool. It
But-
is a cool game. But,
but,
it's not
like-
like it's not going to go. I'm not going to be thinking about it the same way I think about like Super Mario Galaxy or something.
Well,
you know
everyone
what I mean?
holds it
Like,
up. Everyone's like naturally kind of holding it up to that, and that's where the comparisons. I don't know if it's like unfair. I mean, it is the Mario.
I mean, I think it's
Odyssey
because
team,
people
but
really are just itching for a 3D Mario again, and like we're
Well,
not
I
getting
mean,
one. So like this
I
is
think
like
it's more that
supposed
they
to
just
scratch
wanted-
that itch.
they wanted to make. Well, it's not about. Come on. First of all, it certainly scratches the fucking itch, even if it's not Mario. Like it definitely feels like a highly produced, cool Nintendo platformer.
Sure,
And,
yeah,
and
of
it's
course.
definitely in a tier above like a Kirby game, I think, or
Oh, yeah.
God forbid a Yoshi game or something, or
It's just the solution
other
to
stuff they
everything in that
do.
game is destroy everything. Which
yeah, but like they want
sounds
Donkey
cool.
Kong to be like a unique thing, and it certainly is. Like it definitely has its own identity. It's a game where if I start getting like all, you know, journo about it or whatever, maybe I'm harder on it. But when I'm playing it, I'm always happy, and it always feels
Yeah.
good.
It's fun.
But
It's fun. But I mean, I don't think it has any chance. Like, I don't think I'm going to be looking back at it at the end of the year and being like, this is definitely going.
It's
on my
already
list.
off your top 10 list.
It's I mean, with other games that I've already played that are probably not going to make my list.
How much of it did you play? You think? Like, were you
Donkey
just
Kong?
kind of like?
I played about 35 hours according to my Nintendo's.
Oh my god,
Switch.
that was a lot. How many bananas did you have at the end?
500 something, like 550 or something like that.
I think that's reasonable, right? I mean, it's definitely there's like New Game Plus stuff. You could definitely get a lot more,
I'm not
right?
But
did you you get it digitally or did you buy the game card?
I bought the game card.
Will you
yeah. So let that
Will
homie borrow it.
Yeah, I'll let you borrow it.
Yeah.
I just gotta get it to you somehow.
I think it's really fun. I will say, like, the last transformation, I was expecting it to be cooler than it was.
Than the elephant? Because the elephant's badass?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if we're spoiling animals.
It's a snake, goddammit, and it's lame.
Yeah, the
Nick
snake
doesn't care because he finished the
Nick
game.
He finished the game, right?
But if I had said that, whoa!
Well, the snake comes after the elephant, and the elephant should have been the last one because the elephant is insane. It's fucking insane. Like, this, you should not put the little bouncy snake after the elephant. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking, but they could have just done it in the different order. In fact, on the bar down at the bottom, the snake is even before the elephant. Yeah. The elephant's the last one on the bar. So what the fuck happened?
The elephant renders almost every challenge.
Crazy. Like, well, it's not even about challenge anymore. What is the elephant? You're literally
he just sucks up the environment into his trunk, of destruction. And it's like a black hole of just like
you can inhale the entire environment, and it's crazy. I will say this: it is insane.
I will say this: it's super impressive tech. Like, it made me. I was like, damn, the Switch 2 is actually doing some work. Like, this is crazy.
But like, he's so destructive. Like, they should hunt him in Monster Hunter, is what I'm saying. Like, he's so destructive to that environment that I feel bad that, like, no, people, like, there's people living in this world, and I am just sucking up their entire
an ecological
existence.
Disaster.
It feels bad, and I feel like I'm ruining what level design there might have been there because I'm just sucking up the entire thing as I slowly walk through it, and I'm like, level designers handcrafted,
and then
these environments.
The next transformation makes you bouncy.
It's a spring. It's like a fucking spring. It's like, what are you doing? It literally doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I completely agree. 100% agree. All right, we can move on. But yeah, I finished Donkey Kong. It's cool. It's a cool game. It's fun.
Motherfucker. It's already off his top 10 list.
I'm just saying,
look, color on that.
Already dead to him.
Look, Brett. Crazy. The only reason I say that.
Do you think he'll go back and capture footage later, like in a couple?
I already captured.
It makes him nauseous looking at it.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Robin, speaking of making me nauseous, Robin's playing Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown right now.
Oh yeah, you do hate those visuals.
Was that the newest one?
Yeah. I
like
don't
an
hate
exceptional
the
game. An exceptional.
It is an incredible game. It's an incredible game. Yeah.
It's fantastic. Like, he thinks There Will Be Blood is fantastic.
But you know what? You know why I know I married the right person? She went out of her way to make sure she's playing the entire game with the Prince of Persia 2008 skin, like character skin.
Oh God, I don't like that one.
That's why I was like, oh shit.
I like how they have a skin for. By the way, also went 1.0 last week was Prince of Persia Rogue, which is the roguelike made by the Dead Cells creator.
So that makes it a 2025 release, right?
Yeah, it's a 2025 release. It's also on Game Pass. But or no,
Metroidvania?
It's on.
Somebody in our group must have bought it on Steam.
It's on Game Pass, but it's also on PlayStation Plus. Like, the version of PlayStation Plus I have has it, which is cool. There's like way more games on there that every time I open that, I'm like, oh, they're giving like Unicorn Overlords and shit's on there. There's a lot of good stuff on there. It's crazy. Anyways, yeah, Prince of Persia Rogue, which seems cool. It has like parkour and stuff, but it's a little like shabby. It's a little buggy. It's weird. I don't know why it's like that on a 1.0, but whatever. They had to get out before Silksong. They got a tip from Ubisoft saying 1.0, get it out.
Get it out.
Yeah.
By the way, I
Um, I-
didn't. It's funny. I brought up the whole Hollow Knight Silksong has a release date, and we talked about it coming out, but I
yeah,
never
but
actually mentioned
there's
the
not
date.
much to say. There's not much.
I'm just saying. At the very least, I should say when it's coming out, which is September 4th, which is
just
next
crazy.
Thursday.
It's
I think.
crazy, dude. It's ruining so many. Speaking of Derek, it's ruining so many like Fantasy
Why?
Critic Royale because so game everything is tracked quarterly, right? So everyone already has a lot of the games that are releasing. Like they fill up their rosters, and then as the game comes out, you get the points, right? But all these September releases that are moving out of September, these are games on people's rosters that they already bought, so everyone's crashing out. But Derek, like Derek, for example, because I asked him, he
Fucking
had
Derek.
Demon School, which has been famously delayed like 3 times already, delayed yet again to November because of Silksong. And he had Demon School, but Demon School was worth enough because you can sell games and get half their value back. He got enough money back that he was able to replace it with something else. This motherfucker. Hate this guy.
Fucking Derek. All right, let's get to it. We got some stuff to talk about tonight. You know, video games. That's what we're here to do. Brad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you
I
start us
finished
off.
a game. I finished a game. It feels
Yeah?
nice to like play a
Finish
shorter
something?
game in between these monster games. You know, I've still been playing a lot of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Monster
Hell
Hunter.
yeah.
I am 250 hours into Monster Hunter now. My hour count has been matching my hunter rank like the entire time. It feels like where I'm hunter rank 250 and my playtime is 250 hours,
Wow.
which is funny.
So you're averaging about an hour
Yeah,
per,
about an hour. And I
per
do a lot
rank?
of stuff between hunts, but it all shakes out in the end to being about one rank of versus 1
I
hour.
finally hit 100 last night.
Oh, so dude, like at hunter rank 250, like all I get now are like the 9-star, like you could do 9 stars paired together with like 8-star tempereds but get like a ton of rewards. It's crazy.
Investigations.
Yeah, the investigations are wild in my game, but it's fun. It's good. They figured a lot of stuff out. People are still mad about it, right? Because of performance, but they figured out a lot. The whole 3-minute hunt thing is like a thing of the past. Now,
Yeah.
if I can get a 9-star tempered like done in 10 minutes, I feel extremely good about the hunt. Usually it's like 15 to 20 minutes depending on the monster. Anyways, yes.
But what did you
I
finish?
finished Sword of the Sea, the new game from what's the dev called? The spin-off developer. They used to work at that game company. It's not Genova Chin. I feel like this happens a lot in game development, indie game development, real game development, where they're
Giant
like
Squid.
from Giant Squid, from the creators of Journey. And I'm like, yeah, but that game company still exists, and Genova Chin is still at that game company. He's kind of the visionary behind Journey, I'd argue, but whatever. Like the artist and maybe another person from
But still, the influence is still like
the influence is
this.
obvious. But that's sort of
Yeah.
my problem with Giant Squid. I feel like they've been chasing that Journey high for like 3 games in a row now. I mean, at least the Pathless had some like semi-unique mechanics, but the first game Abzu was just Journey but the ocean, right? And the
Didn't most
Pathless,
people compare that to like what was it?
no.
Eternal Ocean or something? I don't know.
Well, no, because
Is that what that's
that's like
called?
an actual like game where you do stuff in the ocean. Like Abzu is just like a journey
Like a
type game,
vibes.
a vibes based, walking sim or swimming
Swimming
sim or whatever. It's definitely like Journey. Oh shit.
What?
Their second game was the Pathless.
I played some of that, and that was pretty cool.
It's really
yeah,
good.
but that's also mostly vibes based. Like I heard it's pretty good, but not like
I mean,
amazing.
I really like the movement system.
This one is the most explicitly like Journey, Sword of the Sea, and this is also on PlayStation Plus. So
Yep.
PlayStation Plus Extra. I don't know what it's called, but the one I have. So
Nobody
I was
does.
like, okay, I'll play this. I mean, here's the thing. It's very pretty, and I like pretty things, I guess. So I was like, I'll play it, and it
Except
feels
for
nice to
Shinobi.
play. It feels nice to play.
I'm kidding.
No, I like Shinobi. It is pretty. Um, it feels nice to play, especially on a PS5 because the DualSense, like this is a great game for the DualSense. Like they put a lot of work into making moving around this world feel really nice with all the little rumblies.
You're riding on the back of a plesiosaurus.
Oh, am I in this footage? Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
kind of jumped on. You can jump on animals. Mostly you're surfing around on your sword because it's kind of like a game where you surf around on a sword. Like
Of the sea.
but let me tell you,
Of the
this is a
seasons.
vibes based. This is so much like Journey. It's getting kind of awkward, and I'm not.
It's funny
trying-
because the footage doesn't feel like that to me at all. But
Well, I think the vibe is very similar. I will say,
The
like the
vibe, yeah.
first couple of few
Oh, there
areas
it is.
in this game is in the sand. You're like skating on like sand dunes and stuff. It's very explicitly Journey. This is like further in the game where I finally have like a new biome where they're kind of doing some different stuff. But you're mostly just kind of exploring these environments and like triggering the things that are like, getting you the light orbs that will like trigger the thing in the world to make it even more beautiful. And usually it's like sand and snow and stuff turning into water. Like the world just kind of like the ocean like opens beneath your feet as you like trigger various journey like triggers. It is one of those
sounds
games.
that sounds pretty though.
Well, it is pretty, and it's got some neat locomotion and stuff, right? Especially like the further you get in the game, like the speed and the way you get around does start to get better. I was really down on this game the first couple hours, maybe I was playing it because it felt so derivative of Journey, and in a way where like it was kind of sad because I feel like it almost has nothing to say. It's just a pretty game that wants to remind people of Journey or remind that people that these are the people that made Journey. I mean, you could do like tricks and stuff on your sword,
At
but
times
it's not
it looks like SSX.
well, I mean, it's not. It's like the trick system is like very dumb and basic, and there are
Yeah.
a couple of like score based challenges you can find as secrets, but it's almost like tongue in cheek. Like it's so easy to complete those goals. It's like, what are they even doing here? It's almost like they put like a scoring system in there that on your first playthrough you can only see in the menu, but in New Game Plus you can have like you can add like a speedometer and like your score to like the HUD or whatever if you want to make it like a score based game after you beat it once, but it's not like as far
they
as
want
like
that first
that
playthrough to
kind
be,
of
like,
game, it never feels
experience-based.
good, it never feels deep. This is a
Yeah.
Journey game, and really it probably should only be experienced as such. You are finding things in these environments, but they're literally just currency to buy like more tricks from some vendor, which feels again
lame.
kind of lame, like because it's not very like complex or interesting. Like it would be cool, like there are games that have like really cool locomotion, but it's like challenging to do the things like and rewarding, like there's a skill ceiling. Here there is no, it feels like there's no skill ceiling at all, so I have no desire to want to get better at it. There's just, you don't really get better at it, you just hit more buttons when you're in the air to do spins. I don't know, it's cool. Like I don't know. Here's the thing. It's pretty. It sounds nice. It is Austin Wintory's soundtrack, who also did the soundtrack to Journey. I think it was kind of like, I've heard some damn good Austin Wintory soundtracks. Like the Banner Saga I think has incredible music. But this just seems so, again, kind of derivative of what they were doing in Journey that I'm almost like, it's not even stand out as like an Austin Wintory soundtrack, in my opinion. It's a hard game to shit on because it's only like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 hours, depending on how much you're exploring, and then it's just kind of over. And there's like a lot of really beautiful imagery, and there's a lot of like wordless storytelling, but it's mostly like just emotions based. Like, or they're trying to
It's-
maybe elicit emotions with
It's
imagery,
pretty and
but
inoffensive.
it feels like empty too. Like their attempts at like beautiful imagery, like it sounds so mean, but like I really want this developer to maybe go more in the pathless direction and make an actual fucking video game than,
Something with a skill ceiling.
or just a video game. I don't know. Like this is a game I could give Henry and he could play because there's not really a video game to it. It's just
Damn, clowning on your own son.
well, I
Shit.
mean, you're right. That's actually kind of not fair because he is playing more like skill-based games now. This, it could be like a screensaver.
It
Like
could
pretty
be.
s-
This could be a screensaver. This is like the video game equivalent of this could have been an email. It could have been a screensaver.
That's not fair. It's not fair. It does feel good to move around, but like the first like third of the game is in the sand dunes, and that stuff just feels like Journey. But Journey definitely felt like it actually had something to say. And one of the coolest things about Journey was this multiplayer, this seamless multiplayer where you just appeared in other people's games or they appeared in your game. And then all of a sudden you were playing with this complete stranger that you can only communicate with like little chimes and glyphs and stuff. And it was such a cool experience. And then you'd have a moment, but then that person would just be gone, and you'd be like, "Oh, that sucks. That was like a great little moment I had with the person."
We were
And then the more you
friends.
played Journey, like another person would pop in, and like that was a cool thing that like an idea that Genova Chin took into like his next project, which has been the Sky Children of the Clouds game or whatever. And
It was
you
social
know,
commentary, which
yeah,
this
I mean,
kind of lacks.
yeah, I mean, whatever. It was a cool thing at the time, and to be honest, I think Journey is a little overglazed. You see it on like greatest games of all time lists. I don't know if it's that, but it was like a pretty special thing at the time, I suppose. And this
We all
doesn't
know
feel like
Flower
that.
was superior.
I mean, honestly, Flower, which is also that game company, I also prefer like Flower did feel kind of like unique and special at the time because there was nothing like it. I actually think that like Flower blew my mind more than Journey. But like Journey was the one that sort of like everybody played, right? Which came a little bit later.
Yeah.
Flower was just this. It had those rousing moments of an awesome locomotion. You're the wind, right? Blowing flower petals around, and it's a beautiful story, wordless story. I mean, they've been making the same fucking game, except this feels like a company that exists just to remind people of Journey. That sounds so mean. I'm sorry. Look, it's on.
I feel like Brad's having like an existential crisis.
I am.
About
I
this
am.
Game.
I don't want to be mean to this, but it's a.
Just leave it at that then.
Doesn't this look
Just leave it at
nice and cool and
It's
fun
gorgeous,
to maybe move
yeah.
around? Yeah. Like, just know that it's kind of just that. Which
that's fine. If
I
you
think,
end it
I
right
think for
there,
a lot of people, especially it being on PlayStation Plus and everything, that is enough. Like download this shit. It'll look really great on a nice TV screen, and it feels good in the hands. Maybe that's enough.
maybe that's enough.
But
And that's it.
If
You leave it right there, you're not being mean. You're just laying out the facts.
I've been plenty mean. There's no take backsies on that one.
Could have been a screensaver. I think that's pretty funny, actually.
I was falling asleep the first hour or so I was playing.
Okay, you just gotta stop. Now you are getting meaner by the second. So
I recommend this game to people if you
want to take a
play
nap.
it for free. I don't know how much this actually costs. But
all right.
Yeah. It doesn't deserve the 87 or whatever on OpenCritic though. Come on now.
Jesus.
That is definitely like, oh, this game is pretty, so it deserves better scores.
Yeah.
Boost or whatever. It's evading the pixel tax.
All right. Speaking of pixel tax, that's not really relevant. I do want to just quickly talk about a game I've been playing off and on for about a week. Carlos streamed this the other day. It is a Carlos joint. It also falls squarely into my
Carlos
realm here. This is Carlos / Nick Slop, I suppose. I've been playing Heartworm, which is a kind of a retro throwback to like classic Resident Evil. Like it feels very. In fact, my wife came in the room and thought I was playing Resident Evil because she hates the door animations. Okay. It drives her fucking crazy. But I was like, no, that's the sauce. That's what makes this kind of like class. Like
you can disable Resident Evil in this game.
I know, but I don't want to. I don't want
Yeah.
to. This is like right here. This is what it makes me think of Resident Evil, and that's what I'm here for. But it's also this is a lot more like kind of surreal horror than Resident Evil, and I'm still kind of trying to piece it together. It's you play this character named Sam who comes to this town because she's like she's like a supernatural investigator, but she's trying to find this I forgot what they call it in the game, but like there's rumors that there are places in the world you can go which allow you to see through to the other side and let you talk to the dead. And she's trying to find one of these places, and there's like she literally goes to like a Reddit thread, and someone's like, "I heard there's one in this place," and she's like, "I'm going." So she goes.
Silent Hill.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of Silent Hill. I mean, the game at the beginning certainly feels very Silent Hill, and then it quickly starts to kind of like diverge from there. Because it starts out in this like house, and it has like the creepy like Resident Evil like mansion vibes for a hot second, but it also has this like eerie like like when you're exploring the school or whatever, and Silent Hill 1 kind of vibes. And then shit starts getting like
You get a camera. It's like Fatal Frame.
Yeah. Like the main way of
all the hits
of combat in this game, it's honestly, I think that's the weirdest thing about the game, because I'm not entirely sure what the significance of the camera is to like the story, but that is the main way that you fight things in this game is you take pictures of them, everything, even like in this area where I'm in the footage right here is this big wooded area, which is a very huge departure from the first area of the game. And there's these like zombie dogs running around, and you fight the zombie dogs by taking pictures of them. And I'm like, I don't know. That's strange.
It made more sense. So I played a little bit of the demo where the enemies were like projections of like a white static like television screen or whatever.
Made sense there, but then you're like
it made sense
dogs.
there, but just taking pictures of zombie dogs makes less sense.
And like you're not even like looking at the pictures. Like you just have the film and you snap the pictures and it does damage.
Say cheese and die, man.
You do have
the Goosebumps camera.
I think the coolest part of the camera, and I think this is maybe because they really wanted this feature in the game, and like it just made sense to tie it to the combat or something. But like in a lot of cases, not in this footage, but in a lot of cases, you're exploring like dark interior environments, like houses or warehouses or whatever, and you literally can't see around corners and shit, or you can't see much of the detail in a room, and you can like tap the right shoulder button to like trigger the flash on the camera without using film, but you can trigger the flash and it like temporarily illuminates everything in the room, which is neat. I've seen other games do this. In fact, it reminded me of Visage, because that's one of the main things in one of the chapters of Visage is just like the only way you can like see forward in front of you in the house is by using the camera flash. It feels a little less functional here, I guess, because you can still kind of see shit. It's just kind of a cool effect.
Whatever. I will say the brilliance of Fatal Frame is that you have like these pulled out like like you're kind of running a character around an environment, but to kind of do combat or to like see closer, you have to like pull up the first person camera, and all of a sudden,
you can do that in this.
It's in your face. The thing that you're is in the room with you, right? It's I guess they do have that.
Well, they
but
have
it's
that
third
here,
person, right? It's third person. I feel like
no, it's third person, but you can go into first person mode here, which brings me to like the one thing that's driving me crazy.
Not having the choice, but to go first person is what's important. But
yeah, and that's definitely not the case here. I end up going into first person mode in this game more often because I can't. Because I don't think so. Resident Evil had the like fixed camera shit dialed in so well. This game is trying to imitate that, but it's not. Like the maps and the camera angles are not as well designed. So like half the time I'm going into first person mode just so I can get a better look of where I am in the environment and like see where I'm going, which is really annoying. And it like rather than like just triggering a switch to first person, it actually physically moves the camera. So you're in third person, you go into first person, and the camera like goes into your head and like suddenly you're in there. So when you release the button, it does that in reverse. And all of a sudden you have this really jarring effect of like, oh my God, you have to reorient yourself, and you're like half the time you end up running in the wrong direction or whatever. I find that to be super fucking obnoxious.
How much horror slop has a piano puzzle? How much of Nick Slop has
most. Yeah. There's definitely piano. But like, here's the last thing I'll say about this is, and again, I kind of like read the synopsis of what the game was about before I started it, but I knew I wanted to play it because it's like literally like PS1 classic survival horror shit, which is my jam. But like the themes and the subject matter of like the story, like the reading about characters and finding out and like learning about what's going on around you and stuff is super fucking like intense. Like I'm talking about like themes of like existential themes of like mortality and some people's experiences are growing old and things like that. It's rough. Like some of that, like that message that pops up at the beginning of survival horror games. It's like some of the content in this game might be disturbing for some viewers or whatever. It's like
Trigger warning.
yeah,
Or this has an actual trigger warning because
this has
like
at the time it seems pretty standard trigger warning, but then you start like reading notes and like piecing together what's going on and like hearing the narrator talk about her life, and you're just like, this is really fucking sad and heavy and real. And I wasn't prepared for that.
That's
but
the
it's
Silent
good.
Hill
Like,
influence, though, you know.
Yeah. But it's, you know, in that sense, it's good. But it's got some weird camera quirks.
I'll take that to the.
I fought a giant spider with a camera, and I don't know how I feel about it.
That is a little, you know, it's doing like the Resident Evil like campy, like camp, like with the encounters and stuff, giant spiders and zombie dogs, but it's trying to have like a
serious
deep
conversation
Silent
about
Hill
death.
like story.
Yeah.
Those things are kind of at odds with each other, but
but hey, it's
all the monsters should be like metaphors, you know, for you know,
and I don't think it's that deep.
Lust and stuff.
But hey, it's definitely got like, if you're looking for like the retro survival horror vibes, it's got it.
Because these look like pre-rendered backgrounds, but then you go like zoomed in, and I'm like, whoa, that's weird looking.
And there's also an option to turn off the pixelation, but it almost makes the game look too clean.
Yeah, you need that. You need the pixelation.
There's anti-aliasing going on. Like,
well, not just that. Like it has, because I played the demo. It has the option to like turn off the vibrating backgrounds that you saw in like the PS1 era, but you gotta have that stuff. That's key part of
lastly,
that look.
You cannot. It doesn't show you where you are on the map, which I know is pretty standard, but the maps aren't as well labeled or designed as like Resident Evil. So like I have to orient every time I open the map. I'm like, where the fuck am I? Where is this door in relation?
They could just put a triangle on there and you'd be fine, but they don't want that.
Well, they're pointing out the region that you're in, but they're not pointing out exactly where in the region.
I just feel like it kind of highlights the weaknesses of like the map, of like the world design, level design.
Your orienteering skills is what.
Because like I never had that issue, or I never felt annoyed by that issue in like Resident Evil.
Resident Evil has a triangle, doesn't it? Yeah.
In the original,
it has a marker, I think, that shows you.
I honestly can't remember at this point.
Yeah,
fuck.
I guess I don't.
Whatever. It's a problem here, and I hate it. All right, but you know, it's still pretty cool. It's a cool game. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna finish it.
I played another game.
Okay. Chris Davis.
Do you really want to hear about Call of Duty? Come on.
I mean,
I'm letting the man talk. I'm letting the man talk.
All right.
Okay. All right.
You did this, Nick.
I am nothing if not a fair host. Fair podcast host.
All right.
No, I did this. I'm the one that brought this about. Well, no, it's Microsoft's fault for making a sequel to the most interesting Call of Duty game. So I wanted to play.
I played Black Ops 2 and I hated it.
Black Ops 2 is, in my opinion, the most interesting because of the branching narrative design, the multiple endings, the optional objectives, the optional missions that you can go on. Like I think it was the whiplash. It was the whiplash of going from Vietnam in Black Ops 1 to like 2025
shit in Black Ops shit in futuristic shit in Black Ops 2, and I was like, I had associated Black Ops like that like brand to like, this is where we're gonna go like back in time. Like this is gonna be like,
it's the Disco Elysium of modern military shooters.
Okay, well, let's calm down, killer. Anyway, sorry. You're playing the campaign for Black Ops 6.
Yeah, I played through it. Actually, I finished it the other night. I was
This is
Actually,
a Treyarch
It was
joint,
sh-
right?
it was shorter than Kratos' speech at the Game Awards. Am I right?
well,
That was a
not
random.
many things are that short or that long anyway. No,
Did you know Kyle bought? Can I say? Y'all remember when the actor who plays Kratos went up there and gave that speech, and
We do remember.
Yes, Christopher
the
Judge.
following year he made fun of the length of a speech by calling it longer than the Call of Duty campaign that year. People gave him shit for that. Kyle Bossman wrote that line for him. It wasn't his own line. That was in the script. That Call of Duty joke that got that actor so much shit.
Damn, just
from-
can't catch a
from
break.
Angry gamers. It's pretty funny. Anyways,
This game is kind of cool in a good number of respects, while at the same time, it feels like it's getting a little bit long in the tooth. Like they are stretching this as far as they possibly can. And
the campaign or the series?
what
Black
they're
Ops
trying
6?
I'm talking about specifically Treyarch's ability to churn this out every 2 years.
Still shocked
Now-
that we've reached we've reached Black Ops. Is it 7? Is that what's coming out this year? Black Ops 7?
Yeah, 7. Yeah. But
That still blows my fucking mind.
yeah, so here's the thing is that this campaign does its best to incorporate everything that Treyarch does in its experiences. So there is the campaign, there is some of that level design that feels like it's just like a few blocked off hallways from being a multiplayer map. And then zombies is in here too as part of a campaign level. And
Whoa,
they
what?
make it make sense in the scope of what they want to try to do with the story.
Wait
but
a
again-
second. You're telling me there's zombies in the campaign for Black Ops 6?
He's probably having like an
Yes.
episode of. He's probably like, oh, seeing things, and you
Yeah.
doing some zombies.
100% that. Yes, that's exactly what Brad described is exactly it.
Yeah,
But
that's
it-
the lazy way to
within
write
that-
zombies into a story, a military
Yeah.
story.
Well, I mean, I mentioned it previously, but back when Black Ops 3 came out, there was an entire separate campaign that used all the same levels that was all about zombies. And it wasn't good because the zombies did not interact with level design and gameplay that focused on pushing forward, not defending. So you just ran out of ammo constantly. You constantly died in that. So it fucking sucked.
That sounds awful.
But it was a good idea theoretically. In this, they combine they keep the zombies to one particular level, maybe a level and a quarter for a later thing, but that's just a different sequence. I'm getting ahead of myself. So this game has kind of 3 different ideas for what it wants to do with its level design. It has a hub level that you come back to between every mission that tries to be like a little bitty puzzle house. It's your base of
Wait,
operations.
is this the one where they're like holed up in like this big like kind of like lodge?
Yeah.
I started this campaign.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
So you
but I did.
So you found the puzzle with the piano, and you used the black light to find which keys to press and open the little bunker underneath.
Nick Slop.
There's some Nick Slop
yeah,
in there.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's the Nick slot right there. But there's more to it than that. So, but the thing is like, again, they're working within their means as far as I can tell. So like once you finish the puzzle loop of that level, other than coming back to it just for character interaction, there's nothing else to do there.
Don't
Then
you like
there's-
do like loadout, like put together like loadouts and shit for missions from that
I mean,
space?
yeah,
or-
you spend cash to upgrade the place, and you use that to buy weapon enhancements, gear enhancements, perks, things like that. But it's other than that, like the character of the level really doesn't change a whole lot. Yeah, again, you just come back to it mainly just to get through a narrative exposition, and you move on to the next level. The second aspect of the game is the mostly linear COD levels, traditional stuff, the quiet in, the loud out, the big bombastic sequences, and they're all pretty all right. The one that I'm showing
all
here, I think, is the most interesting, though. This is an open world level that takes you at least an hour to complete. You are dropped into Western Iraq in 1991 in the middle of Desert Storm, and your mission is to go around the map and take out Scud launcher sites. And in between those Scud launchers are a bunch of little side optional objectives you can do, like what I did earlier. I found a downed helicopter, and because I rescued the crew that was in it, I was able to get the ability to call in an F-117 airstrike, which is cool.
This is the what was it, the in GoldenEye, the Sarajevo, the open snow level. Is that too weird is that too much of a reach?
I think it is.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
He's
You're
saying
like going around the satellites, taking out the satellites in that big open space.
They ripped off a game from 1997, man. What the fuck?
Yeah, how could they? But yeah, so
Good level.
this is a pretty interesting level. Like, it feels like this was at one point going to be like a Warzone map for Call of Duty Warzone, but they at the last minute said, "Oh, we need to put this into something. We can't put this into Warzone because it's too much of a bland fucking desert.
Repurpose it.
Let's repurpose it into a level." And they did. And you know what? It works out pretty all right. I like what they do with the experimenting with like how you interact with your teammates. Your teammates, they're a mixed bag. The thing about them is that they're still that classic co-op partner that they could be walking out in the middle of enemies that are patrolling through the area, just blatantly visible, and like the enemies do not react. They're only reacting to what you do.
Classic video game.
But on the other hand, like there's moments in which they actually become pretty useful. Like, for example, if you are in a stealth scenario where you have not been caught yet or engage, you pull out your sniper rifle, you start aiming at enemies through your scope. They will call out targets that I should not shoot because they will be seen when they're shot. So it's little things like that make you go, oh, that's actually kind of useful. I don't have to.
Nice little details.
Yeah, not big, not exciting, but useful little things.
There was a time when Call of Duty was known for having missions that had like neat little details like that.
I think they've always tried to do that.
They try, but I feel like it's been, I don't know. I mean, I think
it's so long ago, dude. It's so long ago.
It's so,
and it's like it's embarrassing, right? Because I feel like for years they were kind of like putting out Call of Duties like after Modern Warfare like 1 and 2. They were putting out Call of Duties that either weren't as successful as like some of the others or didn't score as well as some of the others. But for whatever reason, Black Ops always did really well. So then they said, fuck it, and just kept making sequels to Black Ops. And it's so transparent that it's kind of embarrassing. And now we're on Black Ops 7 because those are the ones that sell the best. And it's like, but these games are the same. Like they always try to do some kind of like gimmicky shit in each one. I mean,
but like, do you remember the trailer for Black Ops 7? We watched that trailer together, and what the fuck?
Yeah.
In fact, when that's the first time they did the reveal, we thought we were watching a trailer for like the sequel to Control or something, until we saw the Black Ops logo. Talk about, I don't want to say a letdown, but it was a letdown.
I mean, I was disappointed too, but I've also got excited because I realized what that game was going to be, what they were trying to pitch it as.
The gimmick of that game is going to be either really ambitious or just super lame, and I can't decide what it's going to be yet.
I will say, even if it had been a sequel to Control, it still would have been a shooter, and between Remedy and who is this?
I will say that trailer, you couldn't even tell it was a shooter. I will say that. If you remember the trailer, it was just like it could have been the Evil Within. Somebody threw out the possibility of the Evil Within in that when we were watching the original trailer.
Judging as a shooter, I would expect a Call of Duty game to feel better shooting than whatever Control 2 will be, if that exists.
I mean, that's maybe fair, but also one's a third-person shooter, one's a first-person shooter. Whatever, that's neither here nor there. But I see what you're getting at.
Yeah. So I did also want to mention specifically, I want to talk a little bit about the zombies because I think what they did here was kind of cool. They give you this narrative implication that you've been exposed to this toxic gas that makes you see things, and you think
Like
you're
Arkham?
seeing zombies, and your partners don't understand why you're fighting nothing in the middle of the air. But they start playing that
while you're blindly firing your gun in like random directions.
Well, you're
very
separated from your
unsafe manner.
guys. You're separated from your guys, and they're hearing your gunfire, and they're asking what's going on. Like they're concerned about me,
okay.
but they realize that no one else is in the building. But they start leading up into that by doing things that got a genuine smile on my face. That have, I feel like somebody at Treyarch's design team really enjoyed certain aspects of Resident Evil 8 and was like, hey, what if we did that on our own but zombies?
Okay.
Yo, they got
I need
Lady
you to-
D in this bitch?
Yeah, I need you to elaborate. You talking about like big titty vampire lady or something else? Like,
Yeah.
what are we talking about?
Stop motion mannequins that come after you when you're not looking at them.
So that
But like
Weeping
the
Angels.
mannequins look identical to what they are in
dude-
Resident Evil Village.
Busted out a Doctor Who reference. Like, we're just supposed to think he's been watching Doctor Who for decades.
Well, I know I have made the compare. I have brought that up many times, and everybody's like, "Oh, so Weeping Angels," and now it's just stuck with me. It's part of my vernacular now.
Weeping
Is
Yeah,
that
Angels,
is that like the touchstone? I mean, is that like the one
I
that
think
did
so.
it first? That can't be right.
But
But I mean,
that's the most prominent one I
does-
can think of.
Do the Weeping Angels on Doctor Who predate Condemned Criminal Origins? Because that's my first memory of seeing them.
Probably.
it's pretty close because that's a David
It is.
Tennant one, right?
Condemned
Yeah.
criminal.
That was me. 2000.
Origins.
I think 2001 was
I
Condemned
think like
Criminal
Night
Origins. Oh wait, no.
House or
2001.
2005.
2005. There we go.
And Doctor Who Don't Blink is
I think that's after.
2007. 2 years
Whoa.
later.
Damn, Condemned is Condemned.
But I
gave
don't even
Doctor
think
Who
Condemned
the
is the
idea.
first one to do it. I think like
More than likely
the
not,
original
no.
Nightmare House might predate Condemned. Maybe
Oh,
not.
yeah.
No, actually,
Sonji
they
says.
wouldn't.
Sonji
And
says
that was
that I'm
written by
rewatching
Stephen
Doctor
Moffat, and I bet he hasn't played Condemned.
Who. Yeah.
But
Sonji says I'm rewatching Doctor Who, but that's not possible because I've never watched Doctor Who.
Yeah. But unlike like Doctor Who, where it's just a couple of them, like we're talking a swarm of these, and they have fun spawning them just out of your eye line. Like, so you'll turn, and all of a sudden they're like right in front of you and just reaching for you, and you hear the audio of their arms going after you. It's if Treyarch was not held back by the leash of
Hostage?
Call of Duty, and they had 3 years. I feel like they could make a really fucking fun horror game.
Dude, I bet this is like this. The people on that at Treyarch are probably like dying to make something other than Call of Duty. I would imagine.
100%. They've got.
I could be wrong, but then again, there's also like I think of like NetherRealm, who's been making Mortal Kombat since the beginning of time, and it's like maybe not. Maybe they're cool with this. I don't know, but like that. The number of times they've tried to like shoehorn like horror into Call of Duty, and now they're making an entire game that seems to be around like built around like supernatural or implied supernatural shit because of like nerve agents and shit. It just makes
Can I
me feel
say-
like they really want to make a horror game.
I'm seeing the twinkle in Chris Davis's eye. This motherfucker loves Call of Duty. He loves this one.
I used to really like Call of Duty.
You don't have to
And-
say used to. You know, we're not going to judge you.
You love this
No.
one, don't you?
I
You would have
I,
put this shit on your top 10 list.
no
Say it.
fuck off. That came out last year. That doesn't count. Anyway,
This came out
No.
last year,
yeah,
What?
and they're doing 7 this year.
7's this year. Yeah, they broke their tradition of
Fucking
switching between.
Shameless, dude. It's called money. They wanted
Yeah.
money.
No, it's
Hey,
I
no matter
think
what
it's-
no matter what, at the end of the day, like Call of Duty shooting still feels nice.
I
And-
believe Call of Duty 6 got good reviews last year, right? It was kind of
Yeah,
like
it did.
surprising. The
It
first
was
one in
like
a while
mid-80s.
to get like
yeah.
yeah.
I don't want
like-
to be a Debbie Downer. I hope Black Ops 7 is like cool.
You started this last year, Nick.
Yeah, I streamed it.
You're like,
It's-
who has time for Baldur's Gate 3?
No,
I have to play
think
the
it
new
was
Call of
because
Duty.
I think it was because it was on Game Pass, and I was like, it was at one of those. It was at the time when I was like, I keep streaming games that I want to play, and then nobody's talking, and I'm like, they must be really bored. So I was like, what can I play that get people talking? Like, what if I played a Call of Duty game? And that was a failed experiment.
You
And
should.
you realize it doesn't matter. They don't want to leave our Discord to come chat on Twitch, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what you play.
Nick, if you're in a position to do, I would like you to try to play until and including the zombie level. That's mid game.
I would have to dude. If I touch Black Ops 6 before I go back and retouch Baldur's Gate 3, y'all have the permission. Y'all have my permission to fire me from this podcast.
It's maybe 4 hours, bro. Maybe 4 hours. Like it's not that bad.
That's like how much gaming time I get on average during the week.
I
Sometimes
refuse to believe that, but no.
Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Also, one last thing I want to mention: the thing that I have never liked about a Treyarch Call of Duty game has been their sound design. There's always like a level of their oomph when it comes to their gunplay, their explosions, even the dialogue that's happening. Like they purposefully like mute the bass as much as they can. And this is the first one of their games in which I'm like, oh shit, they actually got the sound design right this time.
Okay, I don't know what would be the cause of that, but that's interesting.
I think it's mainly how they've redesigned the studio around the Warzone experience and the unified COD experience. So, like, I know I'm getting the sound design from Warzone.
Working on Call of Duty.
Yeah, like there's, God, you start up the game and they have like the list of developers and it's like 10 different fucking studios, like Beanox and like Raven and.
Oh, believe me, I've recently finished an Ubisoft Assassin's Creed game. I know the story of like all the different studios. It's crazy.
Yeah, it just feels absurd. But for once, like the sound design is what I wanted out of them the entire time.
Cool.
Speaking of sound design, I've been playing something else.
How are we doing on time?
Are we?
Don't
we do single segment shows now?
Only when it's necessary, Brad. Only when it's necessary.
It's necessary.
Is it? Are we doing a 1-segment show tonight?
It's 10 o'clock.
I think we're doing a 1-segment show. I played the Lumines Arise demo. The Lumines Arise demo right before the podcast because it came out today. But I love Lumines, and
did you play more than 45 minutes of it?
This also got a release date in November. Well,
fuck.
The demo is not that long actually, so I could only play so much of it. I did play it multiple times.
This is.
Can I say what?
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm just like I'm looking at the footage and I'm like kind of like the weird because when I've been playing Lumines on my Steam Deck, like the original Lumines, and like they're pretty like safe shapes.
Very old game. No.
Yeah.
This is a much like more visually extravagant game. And it's intense, right? Like you really need to be dialed in. But the good news is for Lumines, the Falling Block puzzle game by Tetsuya Mizuguchi, and Enhance. It's a vibes-based puzzler. I mean, you're matching colors, you're making blocks, but there's only 2 colors, so there's a lot going on in Lumines mechanically, but it's designed to be kind of a vibes-based puzzle game.
But how much of that is new?
And it's got that sinister. No, I mean this is like Lumines has been gone for a long time, and so now, they even have a new studio, right? Enhance Games, where they're kind of bringing back a lot of like Mizuguchi's stuff in some form or another. When Tetris Effect came out a handful of years ago, whenever that was, it was basically Tetris, but with like kind of that Lumines energy. I mean, that's what made Tetris Effect awesome, right? Is they Mizuguchi'd the fuck out of Tetris. And that was an amazing game, both in and out of VR. So now they're bringing it back to Lumines. So people are going to say like it's very Tetris Effect, which it is. But this is kind of the vibe of Lumines. and it feels so much more like it feels so much more modern. Uh, like I played a bunch of Lumines remastered and whatnot, and
I
I
mentioned
kind
this
of always
before.
buy Lumines, but like it feels kind of dusty compared to this. This feels so much. It looks so much nicer, which again you can't
Mhm.
really see on the stream, especially out of VR. I mean, I think VR is going to be the most exciting way to play this, just like with Tetris Effect. But it is. It doesn't just look incredible; like it feels incredible, and
Yeah.
it could be because I've played. I mean, I played on a PS5 with the DualSense controller, but you can tell that I think Enhanced kind of works pretty closely with Sony on this stuff because
Mhm.
all their games have come out on Sony platforms first, I think. But the force feedback, the dual sense, the vibration, whatever you want to call it, is very important to this developer. Like famously, when Res came out, they released a peripheral called the Res Trance Vibrator that I think they only sold it in Japan, but it was
I'm
a
sorry,
peripheral
what?
that you would plug into the other PlayStation slot, and it was like a vibration device that you're supposed to like put in your lap or something
On the
while you
Dreamcast, I
play
think.
Res. It wasn't on Dream. It was a PS2 game. The original Res first launched on Dreamcast, but the Res Trance Vibrator was for the PS2 version, which came out later.
Is that really what
Okay.
it's called?
Yeah, the Res
Yeah, the
Trance
trans
Vibrator.
vibrator. Yeah.
It's like a block that you plug into your PS2 port, and it vibrates like along with the music, because all of his games are very like music, like the synesthesia of experiencing trance
Dude,
music. I guess originally trance music,
It's
and now
not the
kind of
visual you're
just
thinking of, Nick.
no, I know. I just wanted to comment on what
there
Brad's
was a
talking about in terms
sleeve.
of
They made a sleeve for the Res Trance
That
Vibrator.
is
there are
true.
so
Yeah.
many jokes. There are so many jokes I want to make
Yeah,
that
we
whatever.
made those jokes in like 2004 or whatever.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
but it's,
I just wanted to like just talking about like the necessity of like the music and the audio experience of Lumines, just like the power of it is so incredible to me. And I mentioned this
oh
before
my
the
god,
show
yes.
during trailer talk, but like I tend to be kind of a white knuckle flyer, and the past two times that I've flown, which is in the past month and a half, I think 2 months, I have taken my Steam Deck with the original Lumines on it, and that shit has gotten me through everything. Like
Yeah.
flying, like coming into land in Denver with like pretty ridiculous turbulence. I sat there and I was just fucking dialed in on Lumines. Didn't fucking care. And I was like, this is a miracle. I love this fucking game. Uh
Yeah. No, it's
so
one of
I'm
my
like
favorites.
I'm super excited to play this. And I as I mentioned to you, Brad, I am going to buy this so I can play it on my PSVR too.
And when it probably won't be like the way you always play it, and I say that because eventually I would like you to let me borrow your PSVR too.
Okay.
Because I want to. I mean, it's just like some of the best experiences I've ever had in VR were playing this studio's games. Both the re-release of Res and Res Infinite with Area X and all that, and Tetris Effect. Like I get emotional playing these games. It's just because it's that full like. I mean, it's the best vibes out there. I mean, like they just nail it so good, and I can't stress enough. Like, put your hands on the demo. It's on the Steam and the PlayStation Store. It feels so much like it feels so good to like move and turn the blocks. You could tell that they got it down to like a science. Like it doesn't feel like old Lumines. Like just moving and turning a block feels so much newer than it did back then. I can't even describe it, but it feels incredible. And I'm gonna play so many hours of this. The demo, like, sadly, doesn't. It just sort of like it only gives you like a taste of like three different stages, and then it just kind of ends. But Luminous is always kind of like that build up, and then the eventual like transition from one stage to the next, and you don't really get that in the demo, and it's kind of a bummer. Um, there is
They
multiplayer.
can't give you all the sauce in the
This isn't
demo.
called the demo, it's called the beta. And you can play these three levels like single player for a little bit, but there is like multiplayer online in the in the um in the beta. I will say though,
Yeah.
I heard that the killers are out. So if you're not really good at Lumines, you're just gonna get destroyed. Of which, I'm really rusty. So
I'm
I
not
kind of
great
forget
at
all the
it.
tricks. But
I have yet to complete more than I've played so many games of Lumines, and I think I'm like at 30% completion on like the I don't know. I don't even know how it gauges completion percentage in that game,
yeah,
but my menu says 30%. I don't know
okay.
what that means, but
I think that of the skins you've unlocked. Can I say though, like there's I think this game was probably built for VR, which is why the visuals are so like crazy and intense. There was some concern that like the new modern Lumines, like this look that they're going for, might be too busy to like play a puzzle game. One, know that it's like a vibes based game anyways, and you'll eventually like your brain will adjust to like how crazy it is. But I went into the option. There is a ton of options to adjust just how much and what kind of effects are going on the screen. So
you can
if you want
remove
to
the iguanas.
so if you want to tone that stuff down to make it more playable, like they're giving you a ton of options. Because there are times when it's like zooming way out and stuff, and I even went in and tweaked that a little bit because it's a lot, and I could tell that like it is that way because it's gonna make the VR experience incredible. But when you're not in VR, maybe it is a bit much, but that stuff is
Yeah.
there, and that's cool. I can't fucking wait for this game. It's coming out in November. I want to like play the demo like right now. Like I want to go. I'm like immediately before bed. I'm gonna go play the demo some more.
That's
By the way,
why
I'm
he wanted
getting
to-
sick. I'm getting sick in real time. In case I get a little quiet for the rest of this show.
That's
Which sucks.
that's really why Brad wanted to do a single segment show tonight, so he can
But
get back to
it's not
Lumines.
gonna
Or it's
stop
because
me.
he's sick.
It's not gonna stop me from playing some Lumines. But I want to play it in VR so badly. I heard that it's maybe not launching on the Meta headsets, which is what I have. It is launching on Steam VR though, so you can still connect your headset to your computer and play that way. But I would like to at some point see it in PS VR 2, Nick, when you're tired of it.
I will.
Like
yeah,
yeah,
that
I
can
mean,
be
come on.
arranged.
Yeah, I would appreciate it. I know you do play your VR a lot, but but
We
I
could
will-
all have
I
a
will-
lunch one day, and you could have a handoff.
Yeah, it's true. I can give Chris Davis back his copy of Dark Souls, Demon Souls.
You already
We
gave
can
me
t-
that
we can
back.
take our-
Yeah, I'm good there.
Yeah,
We can do our group photo that we take every 3 years when we meet.
Yeah.
we meet in the
Yeah.
same physical
Nick
location.
brings
Oh,
Donkey
man.
Kong.
That's kind of sad.
There we go.
Dude, let's
We'll
make
meet,
it happen.
We'll do. Everybody has to bring something to let somebody else borrow. Like that. We'll do like a little
Okay.
like secrets, not secrets.
But this doesn't come out
to
to November. This doesn't come out to November. Oh man,
We'll figure it
I'll
out.
bring you.
Yeah.
I'll bring you Call of Duty. How about that?
no, you
Don't-
keep that.
What? Do you have a physical
You-
copy of Black Ops 6?
He has a physical
Do
copy.
you think
of
I would
every game he
fucking buy
plays.
digitally? This is me you're talking about.
If I can do it, you can do it, man.
I choose
Anyways.
not to do it.
You lack the courage of your convictions, Nick. This man is living the reality of no digital lifestyle.
I'm a PC gamer now.
Whatever, dude. So much
I
so
don't
that he
even
doesn't want to
have-
play Silksong on Switch 2.
I don't even have. No, I want to play it on my Steam Deck. Why would I? Why?
But why? Is it just because? I guess I mean,
Look,
you have an OLED one Switch.
I do have an
Steam
OLED.
Deck.
I do have an OLED
Yeah, but
Steam Deck.
does it have to do with the fact that you think your Steam Deck's going to run it better? Because a Switch 2
No,
and
it has nothing.
is probably more powerful than a Steam Deck.
It has to do
this-
with the fact. It has to do with just how. You know what? We're not having this conversation.
Well,
'cause I know where it's gonna
it's
go.
Not, it's not
I know where it's-
controversial. Like you were making it sound like I was making a big deal about it. But the interesting news that
You were like 120 frames per second, Nick. 120.
well, no,
frames.
but like that is interesting because they announced it for Mina the Hollower as well, and another indie game I'm like super
is
excited
that
about.
game?
Both Mina the Hollower and Silksong are gonna have like 120 FPS mode.
But like
by
anything over
default.
60 frames per second for games, especially for games like
That's
that,
not
I don't
true.
think you're gonna see a difference. But whatever.
That's not true. Like you'll notice it in the look and you'll notice it in the feel. You know, it's not as like obviously not as jarring as when you're going from like 30 to 60, but it is noticeable, absolutely.
But look,
And
I'm also
like
doing it
it's
for Crispy's
luxurious.
sake, okay?
Like a Switch handheld running a game so smoothly feels like
Crispy's over here like, shut the fuck up, Brad. Shut the
it
fuck
feels
up.
alien. Well, I mean, look, I don't buy a lot of games myself these days, but like
It can't make enough.
Silksong,
It cannot make enough of a difference in this specific case for you to have been talking about it for the last 30 seconds and trying to convince Nick to not fucking buy it on Steam. You can't
but
make
aren't
that.
you going to want to play it while everyone else is playing? He's going to be playing it. You're not going to be able to play it. Well, no, because you're up different hours.
We definitely are on
Whatever.
different sleep schedules.
Yeah, why are you trying to blow this up, Brad?
Because it's Silksong.
What do
It's
you
Hollow
fucking
Knight.
mean? What do
It's
you
Hollow Knight.
fucking mean?
You know what? You know what's
You
gonna
think
happen?
Nick-
You could buy one indie game every 7 years and it would be this one.
I'm gonna send
Watch it
you
run like
a
shit on-
screenshot of my bank account, Brad, where you can see the little minus sign before the number that comes after it. I don't have money.
Okay.
Hey, Crispy.
Yeah.
But I think probably like Nolan. I mean, people will buy it on Steam. Carlos, I think we're all gonna buy Silksong, so I think you're gonna be fine.
Crispy.
Yes,
I know you finished Death Stranding.
I did.
Anything you wanted to say about Death Stranding? Final thoughts.
Kojima's a genius.
Yeah, I mean, he's done it again, you know? Like, it's, God,
Dude, I've done like two
Yeah, the
boss
brilliance
fights in
of
that
it.
game, and they were both fire.
Yeah, the boss fights are pretty cool. So you've gotten to Australia, right?
Yes, I am in Australia.
So I assume you've already done one of the ghost mech, like the squid fight thing, right?
Yes. I did that yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff like that coming up. The back half of this game is just filled with shit, just filled with a bunch of different stuff. Highlights for me throughout the game, there was like a 6-hour period where I was just like in the mountains. No, probably more than that. I was probably doing mountain stuff for like 12 hours where I was just like,
Damn.
I was just stringing up zip lines all across the mountain. And there's a bunch of people who live on the mountain. So there's and there's like a massive mountain that is like, I don't know, 200 meters tall or something like that, or 2,000 meters tall, something like that. And it's so great. Like the mountaineering section was a lot of fun. Like all the snow and the physics of it. Just randomly the other day, I don't even know how this came up, but just randomly I was reading a news story about a guy who was rescued off of Mount Everest. Like a Sherpa went up into the what they call the death zone, which is like the last part of the climb before the summit.
Yeah.
Where like you don't have enough oxygen to stay conscious for more than a few minutes. You have to like take oxygen up there with you. And if you get stuck, if you're alone and
You just die.
you die. Like you're just dead, right?
Your body
over,
just
yeah.
stays up there.
The Sherpa was climbing with and your body stays up there. Although in the last couple of years, the government has been sending people up to do like cleanup and recovery operations where they've like pulled like 5 bodies off the mountain. They cleaned up a bunch of trash because there's like a whole shit ton of trash up there.
Yeah, I saw some pictures like that. I was like, Jesus, it's a
yeah.
mess.
Yeah, it's crazy. So they've tried to like beautify it a little more in the last few years. But this guy was climbing, the Sherpa was climbing with a client. They saw this guy stuck in the death zone, like struggling, and they were like, that guy's gonna die. And there were like other climbers who, you know, you can't stop. Like people don't stop up there. Like if they see somebody struggling, it's like, that sucks. Like I'm sorry, but like you're done. Like because if you, it's like cave diving. If you try to help the guy, half
You
the
might
time
die
you
yourself.
die too. Yeah. But this guy was like, he's like, fuck this, we're not summiting, we're gonna get this guy down. And he literally wrapped the guy in like a sleeping bag, put him on his back. They have pictures of him carrying this guy
He
down
Death
the mountain.
Stranding
He
him?
Death Stranded this guy down the mountain for like 6 hours. It took him like 6 hours to get down to a base camp where they had a helicopter that could take him to the hospital or whatever. So he was like carrying this guy for 6 hours with his client. They were like switching off, and it was it was such a harrowing read. It was such a harrowing story, and then I was like, I did this in Death Stranding too. Like, it was crazy. Like,
That's awesome.
When the game switches into like this mountaineering simulator, it's so much fun. And then you come back down from the mountain, and you're like building infrastructure and roads and stuff like that, and then that's like a completely different experience, and it's so much fun. There's like a point of no return, like a soft point of no return, and then like a hard point of no return. That
Are you looking at Brucey's comment?
Yeah, I was reading what he was saying. Oh, the guy that they saved turned out to be a massive douche. I didn't know that they released his identity. What the one I read,
all
it
the
said
people
they
who
didn't
climb Mount Everest are douches, right?
But
'Cause
that
you
guy
gotta
went
be
up
like,
alone. That guy didn't have a Sherpa or anything. It was really weird.
Oh,
Yeah, I
dumbass.
don't know what his deal was, but
There's
like
still,
some
like-
guy made a split-second decision and like saved his life. Like, it was crazy. But the game, the wrap up to the game, right? The last like 3 hours, I'd say, right?
Yeah.
Is very good, and like I think much more satisfying than even Death Stranding 1 was.
That's
know?
good to hear.
Okay.
Like,
I'm really
I like
intrigued
what
by
they
like
did. I like what they did. There's a lot of twists and a lot of reveals, and I think, as with the first game, maybe even more so than the first game, a lot of the like twists are real baby brain stuff. Like, it's like, I bet this is what's gonna happen, and then that's what happens, you know?
Yeah.
You can kind of see it coming from a mile out, but they are still good beats in a story. Like, it is still
Yeah.
a good story, and it's a lot of fun. And when those reveals finally do come up, it's fun and satisfying, and it feels emotionally correct, right? Like, for the narrative, this feels correct. And where things leave off is fantastic. They have a little hint of like what Death Stranding 3 might look like, and that is really exciting.
Sweet.
There's a lot going on in the final boss fights that reminds me of like Metal Gear Solid 4. In a good way. Yeah, no, Brad's getting yeah, no, but
no, I mean, I'm saying I know what you're talking about, and that sounds exciting.
no, it's if you wanted to see Kojima do the thing, do the be weird Kojima, like,
Yeah. I would
Yeah, this is
expect
the
no
one,
less.
yeah.
I would be
is
disappointed
it.
if he did. If he
this
did.
is it.
I'm super
Big
intrigued by
recommend-
like the story beats that are happening, or like the mysteries they're setting up right now, even though
Yeah.
realistically, as I'm playing it, I'm like, I have no fucking clue what's going on.
Big
But I'm
recommend
like,
if you liked. Big recommend if you like Metal Gear Solid 4. Big recommend if you like Neon Genesis Evangelion. Big recommend if you like just weird shit. If you like guitars.
You're saying
Big
things I
recommend.
like.
cool. All right.
By the way, speaking of guitars, I heard that the what is it, Fender? What's the crossover
the
with
Fender
Monster
thing
Hunter?
started today, didn't it?
This week, yeah.
Yeah.
What is that, like a Monster Hunter thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're having like
there's
an
an optional
official
quest.
tie-in.
You can get a Fender emote, so like your character's just playing Fender guitar.
So bizarre.
Which is great, because that's not the only like instrument emote in the game. There are other ones where you're like playing like bongo drums and stuff. So now we can like.
And the
Have a whole
pickaxes
day.
are in. They added the pickaxes finally.
Can you still do the corn?
Yeah, the corn popper. Yeah. Whoa. No, I think the event's gone for now, but it'll be back.
Whatever. I don't want the corn.
I got the corn.
Whatever.
Fuck you.
What? I don't want
Gunlance
the
is
corn.
goaded.
All right.
Gunlance is goaded, but I like cool Gunlance.
Bring us in, Nick, please.
All right, gentlemen.
Nick,
Yes.
please finish Death Stranding 2.
I am, dude. It is like now, like I know I feel like I fucked myself.
Don't
but,
be
like,
daunted.
Now,
Don't be daunted by the number I said. I was really
I know I'm not.
luxuriating,
I mean-
but please finish.
Dude, I fucking absolutely. It is now my focus, and I'm hoping I can make some significant progress on it before Hollow Knight drops.
Dude, like I would even say some of the best story stuff of like what made like Mass Effect 2 so good.
Ooh.
Kind of
The
starts
Reapers,
coalescing.
the Reapers.
Not the well, but like
I'm kidding.
like I don't know, that the whole like the
That was
idea of
3.
like Sam being part of a team and that team and how everyone connects and interacts. It's just
Awesome. Okay. No, yeah, I'm super excited. It's funny, like every time I think about sitting down to play Death Stranding, because I let so much time in between sessions go by, I have to like re-hype myself up because I'm like, this is a daunting game. There is so much mechanically going on. There's so many controls I don't know if I necessarily remember. So I have to convince myself to do it. But every single time I finally take the plunge and I sit down and put the controller in my hand, after about 5 or 10 minutes, I'm like, fuck, I love this game. Like, this game is so good. But it's and now it's like my sole focus. It's one. No, I don't want to say my sole focus because I am still playing Octopath Traveler 2, by the way. But like, it is my main focus.
You gotta let that one go. You're never gonna
no,
get through
bitch.
it.
I hate you. Don't.
I'm just being
I'm
truthful.
I'm still going, and it's still pretty
Prove
damn
me
good.
wrong.
But
Prove me wrong.
I will. All right,
Y'all
but yeah, I'm
own-
super excited for more Death Stranding 2.
Do y'all own
I
Death
would love
Stranding
to
on
get to it
PS5?
too.
Wait,
Huh?
what?
I was asking,
we
do y'all
own it?
own Death Stranding 2 on PS5?
I do.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
currently have a copy out from Gameplay still. Or
Okay.
no, I think I sent it back. I
I don't think it's on Steam. Is
I thought
it?
it would be.
Not
by
yet.
now.
It's not on Steam yet. I don't
Oh,
think.
okay. Okay.
But yeah. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up with the 4-player minute. Y'all know the drill. Final thoughts of the week, Brad. Start us
We know
off.
the drill, man. I don't know. I was gonna say a couple things. One that I thought it was super cool that Ubisoft sold off of like a handful of their niche IP to Atari. I don't know about
yeah.
modern Atari, but Child of Eden, Cold Fear, I Am Alive, and both
What?
Grow Home and Grow Up have been sold
Yeah.
to Atari.
There are studios out there who wanted to buy that IP, like they want to
I
do
mean,
something with that
Atari,
IP.
like they collect old IP and they want
They
to
said they
do
want to
re-releases
bring it
and
to
stuff.
new platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But whatever, Ubisoft wasn't doing anything with it. I don't think we're ever going to
I
get
mean,
another
it's-
Grow Home game. I love those games.
I
Also,
mean, Grow Home's-
Child of Eden.
Was that the orange blue like
No.
abstract angel game?
No. Child of Eden is a Mizuguchi game. It is a
Yeah.
spiritual successor to Rez that he made when the Kinect was popular.
Oh,
And there's like
the
a
Connect Child of Eden. You're right. I forgot.
Yeah, but
That's-
like Child of Eden is like a cool game. So it's nice to see it like, get released from the Ubisoft's vault or whatever.
I'm
So
stunned by I Am Alive.
Like
what
if
the fuck?
if I would love for Enhance to like get with Atari and try to make like a VR version of Child of Eden, like they did a re-release of Rez and put that in VR with Rez Infinite. If they could do that with Child of Eden, that would be crazy.
Well, in the press release, it does say, quote, Atari will re-release these titles under their publishing label and explore opportunities to expand their reach through updated formats, new content, and existing distribution channels.
New content
Sure,
doesn't
that's
sound.
just a lot of business speak. I mean,
Yeah.
Atari themselves, I don't really like trust to do any too much cool. I mean, they will get these games out elsewhere. I think
This is
modern
also
Atari is
Infogrames
getting better,
today. Yeah.
but I don't know. I just thought that was cool. And other than that, I just want to say like between playing Lumines today, which is one of my favorites, Lumines Arise, and then we're playing Silksong next week. Mina the Hollower's coming out. The Final Fantasy Tactics remaster's coming. Partial remake is coming, and like these are like all-time games for me. Like the back half of this year is gonna be but
Insane.
it's also like just gonna be insane. And I know not everyone has their different kind of like flavors or whatever, but these
Flop.
are like the ones, man. I've been waiting for all of these for a long time, and like, man, it's just
I still have to
thinking
play
about
that.
like Death Stranding 2. I don't know, man, because after a certain point, like I'm gonna go like just all in on all of these games. It's going to be crazy. And there are more and more, honestly. Like there's other games I'm really, really excited about. And I can't wait. Like Ninja Gaiden 4 and Cairn and like big games are coming in the next few months that I'm like stoked about. And all of that. And apparently we're still getting a new Metroid Prime game this year, which
Insane
for me. Insane. I can't even believe it. But yeah. Now just announce a new Castlevania game or something and I can die.
Okay.
After I play it, I guess.
Yeah, there we go.
From a reputable
Crispy.
developer and not, certain ones that destroyed the franchise previously.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that. I don't think they would.
Crispy, final thoughts for the week?
I mean, agree with Brad. The rest of the year is crazy, and I still have to find time for like Claire Obscura.
Oh, you do,
buddy.
No, okay,
Damn.
just stop. I said it. I acknowledged it.
Okay. Fair.
I acknowledged it. We don't need to go any farther.
I'm sorry.
Since I finished Death Stranding, though, I've been playing a lot more Monster Hunter, trying to catch up on stuff that I haven't done in Monster Hunter. And I played like the last few days. I played like 12 hours of Deadlock. Because they have just pushed a big update for that, which added a whole bunch of new systems overhaul. They added 6 new characters that they're doing on like a timed release, so like people are voting for which character gets unlocked next, and they unlock a new one like every few days. I know you guys don't care, so I guess I'm not talking to you, but Deadlock is crazy good. Like,
really,
it is so fucking crazy. They've just put in this new character called the Doorman, who like his whole kit, his main one of his main abilities is the portal gun from Portal.
Okay.
Like
that,
and I don't just I mean cool. Like literally like when it's doors instead of a portal gun, but like when he throws the doors, it's like there's an orange one and there's a blue one, and they make the portal sound. Like they do all the stuff, and like Doctor Strange and Marvel Rivals has a similar thing, but like it's not intuitive at all to use. This is so stupid easy, and like people are doing crazy big brain plays with it. Again, I know you guys don't know anything about Deadlock, but the maps are like big, like New York City, like tall buildings, very vertical, huge MOBA map.
Perfect for fun with portals.
I mean, like, it is crazy too. Once you start leveling it up, you can like throw portals like way above people's heads and then just be like shooting them from behind, and they don't know what's going on. He's got another ability where like he throws like a luggage trolley, and it pushes people back really far, so you can like kidnap people by like setting up your portals and then like pushing someone through it to like remove them from their line and put them like back where all your teammates are, and then everyone just like gangs up and kills them. It's fucking crazy. His ult is the craziest thing I've seen in any of these hero shooters, I think, and it's something that it's like I can't wait until Overwatch introduces a character that does this, if they had the fucking balls to do this. It is insane. His ult is if he gets like within a certain like close range with you, he can trap you in time. So like on the map, your character pauses. It can't be interacted with. It doesn't take any damage, but you can't move. And on their screen, they are transported into an extra dimensional like hotel hallway that they have to do platforming to get across as the timer's going down.
So it takes them out of the equation.
If they don't make it to the other side, they take a shit ton of damage. But even if they do make it to the other side, they're just locked for like 30 seconds or something. Yeah, so like everyone can like nuts. Just like get around them, and then when they come out, you just start like bombing them. Like it is insane. It's so good. And this game is still in closed alpha. Like Valve hasn't even like officially announced it or anything yet.
Yeah, it's like I feel like it went into closed alpha where people could request access, and then nothing ever was talked about ever again with it. I'm looking through the patch notes. This is a lot of shit, and there's already 34 fucking characters. Am I math right?
Yeah, Yeah, it's something like that. They have a really diverse set of characters that all have like crazy amounts of like flavor and skill expression to them. Like I mean, I love Overwatch. You guys know I've been into Overwatch forever. I still play. Um,
Problematic fave.
yeah, I mean, but like,
Sure.
dude, Deadlock is so fucking like I've never wanted to like get better at a game more than I have Deadlock. It is
Damn.
crazy, and
Do
it's
we
making
know
me
when
learn
that's coming out
MOBA
of?
terminology.
Do we know when it's coming out of early access, or I guess it's not out
No,
early
that-
Not
access?
even
it's
in
a
early
beta.
access
No,
officially.
it's not like I can invite people, by the way. So if anyone wants it, hit me up. I can
As can
invite you
I.
guys. But they haven't had big updates for like 8 months or something, and then this like week or two ago they just started with a big wave of like content, like I mean to the point where they're like they added a bunch of new mechanics into the map. They changed or like they refined the art style. They actually added like a art UI into the game that they didn't have before.
It
They
actually
even
looks
changed
quite
some of the
good.
character models. Like it all looks great. And like just from like a mechanical gameplay point of view, incredible. But like the whole vibe of the game, like their like lore and what they're like the world they're trying to build, where it's like an alternate reality New York where like magic and demons and stuff exist. It's called the Cursed Apple. Like
That's pretty
it's
cool.
fucking sick. It's so sick. Like yeah, I don't know, man. Like but what I was saying is all these changes. A lot of people are speculating that it feels like they might move to open beta soon, because this was a pretty big
Damn, I'm looking at some of the character art in this game. It's pretty.
It's really good.
yeah, a lot of the they have all these like intricate like lore tabs for the characters too. There's one guy named Lash who's like a boxer. His lore tab, the only thing it says is Lash is an asshole. Like that's it.
Is this a goat man?
Yeah, Billy.
Yeah, Billy.
Yeah, he's like a punk rock.
Ah,
He's like Spider Punk, but like a goat
a
person.
goat.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. This actually looks pretty sick.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's great. Deadlock. I don't know if I can morally recommend it, but I'm having a lot of fun.
Sweet.
I will say, can I just say, like to
yes.
extend on mine before we transition, I named all that stuff that I was super excited about, but there was also a good chance that, remember, even Metroid Prime at the end, but we will also probably get Hades 2 1.0 and Slay the Spire 2 also this year. I can't.
Game over, man. Game over.
Like a Monster Hunter game already came out this year. I'm saying, like, I don't think I've eaten this good in a single video game year as I have had in 2025. That's crazy. It's crazy.
Pretty wild. Pretty wild. Chris Davis, final thoughts.
My final thought is the thing that has been dominating my mind for the past week. It's the brand new Ubisoft game, The Division 2 Survivors. This is supposedly
We're all eating.
a brand new standalone game based entirely on the Division 1 survival mode, which was the best thing that ever came out of that game. And to this day, in fact, I've reinstalled the Division 1 just so I could play that again. It is so fucking good. They announced this last week during Gamescom. It is being led by Magnus Jansen as the creative director. Magnus is responsible for the original Division, as well as being a creative director on Far Cry 3, World in Conflict, the new Avatar game. Like, this guy fucking knows his shit. And I am so fucking excited. I know I've said repeatedly that I have 1,200 hours in the Division. Probably half of that is in the survival mode in there. God, I am so fucking pumped to see this.
We're about to lose Chris Davis.
The concept art is basically a Blizzard Washington D.C. and it just
Isn't that what the Division 2 was? Or
I mean, Division 2 was set in like summer Washington D.C. So like it looks
And
like
now
there's
it's
a
a
blizzard
blizzard.
hitting town, and it looks so fucking good. Also, I'm hopeful that this incorporates some of the things that were going to be worked on for their Heartland game, which got canceled. Because they were promising like a survivor or survivals like experience for it. But playtesting just did not work out for it because evidently they wanted kind of a more of a battle royale experience, which thank God that's not what this is. But yeah, top of mind. I'm so fucking excited for this. Also, reiterating, go look at the fucking product page for that Battlestar game. It looks like fucking FTL.
Except without the ship interiors.
There's ship interiors.
All right, I believe you. All right, my final thought this week. I know I wish I could just talk about games because there's a lot of stuff to be excited about. Fucking Hollow Knight next week, but my week has been dominated with negativity because I was really bummed out to find out that Paramount canceled Dexter Original Sin last Friday. Even after they had renewed it, they unrenewed it, which is not common.
It was the just as soon as the Paramount deal got approved, they canceled.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think the real reason was?
I mean, I think the reason. The popular narrative right now, and I don't know how much I'm necessarily. This is what I hope this is the case. The popular narrative that everybody's telling themselves is that new leadership came in and they decided to cancel one so they could focus on the other. And also the person who was in charge of Paramount prior, or who was in charge of the lineup at Paramount prior to the merger, was the person who was responsible for Yellowstone and like the approach they were taking with Yellowstone, which has all these different prequel series, and like prequels specifically were like a major part of his like strategy. And after he left, they were just like, well, that's not really the route we want to go, so we're not going to do as many prequels. So everyone right now is like, well, Dexter Resurrection is doing phenomenally, and
yeah, I've been keeping up, and it's fun. It's a very fun show.
So they did say they're expecting season 2 writers' room to start soon. So it sounds like they're just putting all of their eggs in that basket, but still, like, it hurts. It stings for me because, guys, Michael C. Hall's in his 50s. He's not going to be doing this for that many.
He's not that old for Hollywood.
No. I know it's not that old. But I'm saying is like the whole reason the show ended in the first place was because he got to the point where he was like, I'm done. I don't want to play this character anymore.
I mean, he was on 6 Feet Under. I get it. He wants to do different things.
I know. I'm not blaming him for that. I'm saying, to me, the future of the franchise, like if people really wanted more Dexter, it was going to be Original Sin. I was like, Resurrection could run for a few seasons, and that's fantastic. But like, if people want more Dexter beyond that, it was going to come in the form of more Original Sin, and that is no longer the case. And I'm really bummed. It kind of like just nuked my weekend, and there's all kinds of shit.
That explains.
Yeah,
you got a little snippy with me in that channel, and I get it now. You were kind of.
I'm
which, you know, I didn't watch Original Sin. Well, I watched a couple episodes, but I'm just saying, as a more casual really Dexter fan, I'm having a good time.
I know. No, I know. It's great. Don't get me wrong. I am super thrilled by like how Dexter Resurrection is going. It's miraculous, and I'm so happy about that. But like, in my mind, I'm like, realistically speaking, this is going to be what, 2, maybe 3 years, maybe.
Yeah.
And you know, and then beyond that, but like, there's also lots of people there's like petitions and all, like, there's lots of fan backlash and stuff. So who the fuck knows?
But do the fans are the fans like in support of Original Sin?
Yeah, I mean, most of them. I mean, like, it has almost.
I thought it was semi-divisive or whatever.
It was semi. I mean, honestly, it was almost as well received as Resurrection is.
Oh.
Overall, almost. But Resurrection is outpacing it in terms of viewership by almost twice as much because Michael C. Hall is the face of the show.
Yeah, of course.
But whatever. It's. I think what really burns is that they had said they're going to do another season and they changed their mind. I literally was talking to someone on the production team and they were like, "Yeah, dude, it was a kick in the balls. Like we were ready, kicking the fucking balls." So super sucks. But on a more positive note, what everything Brad said is true. I'm really excited about September, October for video games looks fucking bananas, and there's a new Silent Hill game coming out
Just
next
not
month.
DK
That's
bananas
crazy.
because those
Not
are
DK
sour.
bananas. Sour bananas. Also, I can't get my wife to stop saying "ooh banana." She just keeps like, fucking. I can't.
It's
fucking
the
just-
best.
yeah, it is pretty. Yeah. Anyways,
It's
guys,
the best
that's our
beats
show.
the rest.
That's our show, guys. Thanks for listening. I would like to tell you that we'll talk about Hollow Knight next week, but it comes out after our recording date, so we'll talk about Hollow Knight in 2 weeks. But in the meantime,
We've
we'd love
got
to have you on our
quite the
Discord
thrill to talk about next week.
Okay.
next week. Wait. Oh,
What a
okay,
thrill!
yes. Are you talking about Metal Gear?
Yes.
What are you alluding
Bitch.
to? Okay, yeah,
Talking
Metal
about
Gear.
He's talking
Metal
about
Gear, among other things. So, guys, if you're not in our Discord, we'd love to have you. It's discord.gg/4player. That's where you can come hang out, talk to everybody, talk to us, talk to the community, be a part of the conversations from week to week. You can find all of our episodes on 4playernetwork.com and your preferred podcast service, of course. In the meantime, be good to each other, play video games, and good night.